Hello, everybody. As we said in the announcement before, we have an interview today, and it is with Heather Ellis Drake from New Zealand. I've known Heather for 5 years now, and we've been on a journey together actually since we met, whether we be close or apart. We've been sharing in a way the same journey but in different ways, and she has been on national TV in New Zealand, on radio in New Zealand, and is a founder of the Global Rising Summit, which actually I was interviewed by her on. So this is a very role reversed space, because actually this is the first time I've actually interviewed her. And it's...
No, what you've actually done, my darling Shona, is that you've taken me out of retirement and you brought me into this space with you today.
Yes.
And it's really awesome that it's awesome to be with you today. It's amazing, it's joyful, and we're celebrating for the fact that, you know, we've conversed all the time, but this time it's completely different. And I just want to say I'm really proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Extremely proud. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that's just actually literally come to me was the first words you ever spoke to me 5 years ago, when I actually went to Heather for a healing. It was the first time we met, and it was just an amazing thing to be in presence with her, because that's what healing is, being in presence, true healing. We may go on to talk about that in a minute, but her first words to me were, with a big beaming smile that she has, "There you are."
Yeah.
And I just, and it's the same feeling that I have now. It was, my heart kind of expanded out, and you know, wow, it's just always a pleasure to be with you, Heather. So, and
I think, you know, over the years, Shona, when you truly recognize someone, no matter who they are, no matter where they come from, no matter what their beliefs are, religion, nationality, color of their skin, what it takes is another person to simply say, "Oh, I see you. There you are.
yes,
Hello." And there's this connection with no barriers or prejudice or criticism or judgment or all that bullshit that this world is in chaos with, you know, just because you follow that person.
Yeah.
You can't allow another human being into your space because that person doesn't believe in those beliefs. So when I see people, especially right now, exactly how we are right now, I have always seen Shona. She is awesome and she's cute. And I wish, and this is what we're going to get into because she's going to interview me, I wish people could understand, if they drop their facade, their games, their perceptions of how things are, you're able to see, hi, hello. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, when I see you, when I see others, it's that soul to soul. I see you here now, with no cobble-wash in between, no agenda, no feeding frenzy of how that other person you think is. So this is the connection that Shona and I have completely.
Yeah. And, you know, when I connected with Heather and she said that she was retired, I was, I was just, well,
retired? Yeah, I've gone off grid, sweet pea.
yeah,
Yeah, I live in the middle of the North Island and so far out. Yeah.
no, I just immediately said, when she said that to me, you're too beautiful for retirement.
Well, we could say that I've just gone on sabbatical leave for how many days?
1,095.
95 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Jesus did that too. A lot of the great ones, when I say Jesus, a lot of the great people also did that. They went off grid and connect with all that is. Yes.
Yeah. And we all need to do that, really. And that's kind of, you know, it's like
which brings us where we are today.
It does bring us where we are today. I love this.
Brings us where we are today.
Because we're being very, this is, if we had done this live, this would be exactly how we are, because we're very, very authentic. And all the bloopers and everything else.
Yeah, I kind of speak it how it is. I call out the bullshit and I call out the unnecessarity.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking today, Shona, like knowing that we were going to meet this morning, I'm going, oh my God, I haven't been seen live for such a long time. Or, you know, I just had my head down and my hands in the earth and creating abundance and success with living off the land. And I'm thinking to myself, what on earth have I got to speak about with Shona? You know, and the most amazing thing, you know, I'm just a little woman, just like everybody else that's listening. I'm just one little human being, part of the whole. Mm. And with me, and as Shona knows me, because I'm going to tell you a little story, folks. I got to tell you a little story about Shona. Shona, I was doing this live event here in New Zealand. Well, guess who arrived from England? Shona. She was actually one of my students. And she came over, and Shona was with me on a very important journey. Yes, we had the live event in the South Island, and yes, but she was part of that car that we could only fit how many people? 5 people in that car, couldn't we?
Yeah.
We were privy to the most amazing, incredible journey. And that was in remembering who we are, where do we come from, what happened before that, all these amazing things. And I've got videos after videos of her and I sitting in this car after the live event. And it was actually going back to remember who we are as a human being. So Shona was privy to this. And of course, when she returned back to England, we kept in touch and we split off, and but yet we were still there. We still ended up in the same global, if you want to call it global modality. And we saw vision of how we could help and assist people. We saw the ugly. We saw the ugly. We experienced the ugly and what is actually out there. And we witnessed trauma and the worst kind that you could ever think of. But when I say that, we went through that trauma ourselves, didn't we?
Yeah.
We experienced the most evilest bullshit, which I call it, and which you will find out, and Shona and I are going to discuss more about it, the hoodwinks out there on this earth plane. Mm-hmm. So everything that Shona and I bring to you, just in this little talk, because there are going to be many, many talks, we're going to tell you the honest truth and how to overcome many things. But it happened when she came to New Zealand. It was that physical touch. It was that physical presence of, hey, hi, I've known you for years, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah. And, you know, in regards to what Heather just said, it's so easy in a way, because I've experienced it, to be hoodwinked by people that give the impression of purity when actually they have hidden agenda. I have nothing that I want to do except help humanity to be all that they deserve to be. And it's something that Heather and I share on a very deep level. And people actually don't understand the openness that I have, because I don't really connect with a lot of organized stuff the way that this space is organized. I'm a very open person, and I will walk up to somebody and I will say, look, this is my heart on the table, what I want to do to help humanity be the best it can be, in effect. And you know, do you want to collaborate with me on it and just do it together? And that's really how this has come about, really, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It basically comes down to vision and what presses on your heart, what presses on your heart's desire. And you can only do that if you've gone through it yourself. You can only, you know, I can talk in spiritual terms, I can talk in humanities terms, I can talk in everything. But if you want to know something about it, you have to do your study. I know that Shona has done deep study, more than many people, and I know the depths of despair and trauma that you have experienced and what is actually out in the world. So when Shona came to me just recently, she had this vision, a full-blown, amazing, incredible vision. Only very few have, and only very few can launch it, so to speak. And Shona's been doing that. She's been doing it silently in her own little way. But I have too. I mean, for several years, for a long time, I see that vision. So she shared it with a few others, and it was rejected within 2 seconds. Now, this is the crutch of the thing. So she decided to share it with me. And as soon as she said 2 sentences out of her mouth, because I listen, because I see her, all of a sudden I got this excitement, I got this joy, this celebration of finally a pure heart, a purity is stepping forth. And she like me too, Shona, and I will say that you take one step and you get knocked back 30,000 steps behind you, because you've shared your heart, your soul with someone. And I have seen Shona go from, oh wow, for a good time I saw her being so bullied. I'm just going to say this, so bullied, but I was her teacher prior to the bullying. I saw her spiritually raped, spiritually bullied, everything that you could think of as a human being. She was put into a situation where she was suppressed, oppressed, depressed, and totally battered. But I was fortunate to be able to still be that teacher and stand back and watch her come through to the other end. And as I speak this, every human being is that way. We all come in with innate abilities of being able to express ourselves from the moment we take that first breath. To be suppressed, depressed, separated, left wandering this earth plane or this world of not knowing who you are. But Shona was one of them that she already knew who she was. But it was basically the right time, the right moment, the right effort. So those people that bullied her, I knew personally, And I thought to myself, I could either jump in and rescue Shona, or she could jump in and rescue me, but we didn't. We had this respect with one another that we, in that breath, we just wait. We just wait, because we as a human being are not allowed to interfere of another one's journey. But the true love for another human being is just to simply just wait and just simply respect and know that you're always there. So with Shona, you know, I've seen the work that she's done over the last couple of months, and I go, oh my God, this surpasses everything. I mean, this surpasses the wannabes. I say there's a sickness upon this earth plane, and that's called specialness. People who believe that they're so godly and so spiritual that everything, they deserve everything. Well, they haven't done the work. But with Shona, she's done the work. She's done the hard slog. I've got the saying, she's been down on her hands and knees, and she's plastered her face into the earth plane, and she goes, why me? And then all of a sudden she rises because of a kind person coming her way and say, sweetheart, get up. Sweetheart, get up. You're on the right path. You can do this because of your vision. You have this vision, and it's going to happen. Well, it's happened because you've done it, and it's going so fast. I mean, okay, can I just share just for one moment, viewers? Yesterday, there were 36,500 people. This morning, there's 37,500. We are growing, and I'll say we, like this, and it's so fast, and we're not having to do anything. The only thing that we're doing is coming and saying, we said, we got the call, yes, we'll do it. And all of a sudden, once we said, yes, we're going to do it, everything is conspiring and spiraling to, it's going to happen even quicker than that. Look what's happening. Amazingness has happened.
Yeah.
But I'm giggling at the same time because I retired. You know, I've got amputees, and here with my husband, and we rescue chooks, and I grow my own food, and I create in my mind at night time, and then I do it the next day. I go completely to what the world is saying or someone's saying, and I've created this, plus the dogs if they decide to. I create and I create and I create. But once I heard an authentic person like Shona say, Heather, I have a vision. May I share it with you? And when she started to share it with me, she was so frightened to tell me. And the reason why she was so frightened to tell me was because of the knockbacks, of the silliness of other human beings, putting a bullying effect, a something over here. Oh, don't be so stupid. It cannot happen. I am the master. She shared it with me. And as I said just before, those 2 sentences, I saw her vision. And we have no right to suppress another human being in their vision, on their calling, of their purpose, of their journey. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah. When I come out of my shell, like, you know, I've been away for a couple of years, or 1,070 something days. It excites me. There's an excitement of beauty, of joy, and release of those good vibes.
Yeah.
Onto osmosis effect, and
Yes.
giving someone a kind word.
Yeah. And that's really what we're about for all humanity, giving those kind words, that knowingness that no matter what's going on, that you are safe, you are protected, and you can always come out the other side a stronger person, and move forward to achieve all that you wish to achieve What Heather was talking about in regards to where I was I wanted to share with her, but when the moment came, I was so kind of
oh, you had tears in your eyes.
scared. I was that scared of what she might say to me, even though I knew it was Heather. I was so scared of what she might say to me, because of other experiences that I couldn't get the words out. And when I think about humanity and I think about how many people that has actually happened to, that have yet to find the courage to actually stand there and say, actually, I want to do this, and move towards creating that. And that's one of the things that I want to offer humanity, a space where they can be heard. It's part of me that if I see somebody suffering unnecessarily, I will create something somehow where they can, when they're ready to, come for that strength.
I think what you've done, Shona, is that you've created a space where someone can recover.
Yes. In a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
I always use so many words.
You know, we were talking about this yesterday, folks. I said to her, I'm really good at writing. She's really good at writing, but actually voicing it, you know, is a whole different matter. But there's a space that's been created where people can come to recover. And all people, and I'm talking about all people, it doesn't matter who you are, needs a place where they can come to recover. And in that recovering, it's not, all it is nurturing. It's not some woo-hoo spiritual or woo-hoo psychiatric place. It's just a simple place of going, someone sees me, someone acknowledges me, someone understands me, without having to put any frickin' labels onto you. This world has become a huge spiritual feeding frenzy.
Yeah. And one of the things as well that we're going to do is actually, in lots of different ways, bring the authenticity back to humanity's wholeness.
Okay, so people are actually wondering, because I'm a little bit psychic. No, actually, I'm more than psychic. And that's, no, best I give them a little wee 10-second spiel, shall I? Just so people know where I come from. I think I better do that.
Yeah.
For those who don't know me, I'm Heather. And just on 20 years ago, I suffered a huge brain injury that put me into a coma and near death. And in that time, I journeyed into all kinds of trauma, from having to learn to walk and talk, to read and write, and the total painful one was being rejected by society. What do you do with people like me? You know, I came against Christianity, I came against spirituality, I came against everything that you can think of that's floating around this earth plane. What do you do with someone like me that suffered deeply? So yes, I was in a coma, and yes, I lost a lot of things, family, property. I went through the whole human thing, which happens in a big trauma. So I went on to sabbaticals, and I had this incredible ability through the trauma in my head that I can hear the thoughts and sounds in people's head. And actually, I can hear the pin drop thousands and thousands of miles away. It's like a quantum field, because of where I was taken and because of the death experience. So I came out of that, and you know, I had a corporate career, I had family, I had just given birth to a baby. She was only 12 weeks old. So I had to experience the losses in the physical presence, the homes, the marriage, the absolutely everything. But the deepest part of all is that I was rejected by human, with their perception on how one should live or how one should be after an illness, if you would like to describe it. So from there, I had this connection, this knowledge. Yes, I've been on national TV with Massey University to simply discuss and to bring out people that have had experiences with near-death experiences, with recovery and trauma. So I like the blood and guts because I've been there myself. I know the afterlife, if you want to call it. I've got rejected from the Christian communities because their beliefs are that if someone returns from death, you are the devil. But I also like to say, because I did some study and because of my belief, so if you're rejecting me, then you're rejecting Jesus, because wasn't he resurrected? You know, I bring a different perspective into people's beliefs. I'll say, oh, hang on. So you're saying to someone like me that I'm of the devil because I came back from death, but you worship Jesus. And Jesus was just simply another human being like you and I. He is the most talked after people. So I'm very intelligent and I'm very wise because I like to take everything, because I've been on the other side and I've come back and I know what happens on the other side. I know about the physical presence. But one of the gifts that I was given was that I'm able to, and it's just words, folks. It's just simply a game of names. I'm able to jump into another human being, if you would like to call. I'm going to have you ever watched The Green Mile? Yeah. Hands up, and who's watched The Green Mile? Within 10 seconds, because I know the thoughts, and it's not psychic because we all have this ability to do it, but you're not listening to it. You're giving your power away to psychics, to healers, to everything. When I started out on the healer journey, it just irks me, this word. Because of my capability, because of my knowing, because I had to do it myself, it was only I that could get up and walk. It wasn't the doctors, or it wasn't the psychiatrist because of the brain trauma. It wasn't the occupational therapist. My knowing is that I can look at someone and I can see what is wrong with their body, their pain and their suffering, in a breath. But I have the capability of doing 30,000 people at once. So I started it here in New Zealand, and Shona, that's what Shona came over for. Didn't you, Shona?
Yeah, I did.
And I'm just sharing with you all of being able to express with tears in my eyes that you all have the capability of doing it. It's something that is not gifted to a special chosen one. It's gifted to every single human being. So I was caught in this trap of communities, of spiritual communities, religion, doctors. Most of my friends are psychologists. All these people, well, she's come back with a gift. TV, radio. There's little old Heather. What do you do with someone that's a little bit quirky and is a misfit? Because we're all quirky and we're all misfits. Okay, so sideswipe. Let's suppress her. Let's take everything that she knows or everything that she experiences and suppresses her. and further down I went, further. And it's an incredible journey, because we're going to share more about this. And I am no different to you, Shona. I am no different to who's listening to this video.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, communities want to put you on a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, welcome, Heather.
Mm.
So this was my journey: radio, television, live events, road trips, everything that you could think of. And the reason why I went into retirement off grid is because I needed to get back with God, the creator, God, whatever, whoever you want to call him, and say, oh my God. And he goes, how about we plant some seed? Let's learn how to mix horse manure in with chicken manure with your hands. Let's get you down to hands and knees. Let's get you to only communicate with a couple of people, and the only other person that I've been speaking to is Shona. And in that moment, I feel like the alchemist, which we all are as a human being, the mother, the father, the child, the teacher, the doctor, the everything. How about we go back to normality of a human being? Because we all have this innate ability, everything that we think, everything that we feel, everything we touch is absolutely joyful and beautiful. And what took that away from us? What, people speak about in spiritual groups, the separation, the new agey people. Who separated us? The new agey people? Religion? I do a lot of study. Every day I go into a lot of study.
Yeah.
Who separated us, and who's fixing it? I'm not fixing it, but we are creating a space, aren't we, Shona?
Space for it.
And so so that's who I am, but there's thousands of topics that I can get into, because it's all about Shona. Shona had this vision. We go back to that vision. Where do people go after a huge, brutal experience of spirituality, of narcissists, of bad marriage, of deep despair, of, endless. It's so endless. Her and I came together this week, hence the reason why I'm here. I said yes to this mission because I believe in her mission, because it's my vision too. And amazingness, incredible. It's just gone so fast over the last few days. Everything that we had been initiated, prepared for, it's just happened within seconds. She'll send me, because we're in the opposites of the end. It's late at night with her.
Yeah.
We're heading into nearly midday. My day's really basically started since 5 a.m. this morning. I'm honoured to know Shona, because incredibleness is going to happen. And yes, she pulled me back out of retirement, because, Shona, ultimately at the end of the day, why should I be in retirement when I just know that
So much good to do. Creativity.
so much to do. and it honestly, it's a time warp. It's like, before I even verbally say it, what I think comes about.
Yeah.
And we're setting the people free from pain, suffering, trauma.
Yeah. And in the same way as well, just remembering of the joy in simple things. We get so bogged down with stuff that it's like you said, we forget the joy of planting seeds, or all that sort of thing.
I think I'm very blessed, and I think you came in and said it too. There was a posting on a brain injury unit a couple of days ago, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I looked at it. Now, hang on, I've just got to make a very comical joke about this. spiritual communities would tell me that I was triggered. Religious would say that the devil's getting in. I say, I looked at it and it was utter nonsense. With no labeling, no attachments. This scientist or this person, because I know a little bit of science because of my corporate background, said people with a right frontal lobe are basically useless. And I looked at it and I thought, which system do you come from? Which galactic place are you coming from? How about you speak to someone that has suffered a right frontal lobe trauma, worse than mine? Well, actually, no. If there was any worse than mine, they'd be dead. I think I'm the only survivor that could survive something like I did. And I looked at it and I thought, oh, cobblewash. The truth speakers are coming forth now, aren't they, Shona?
Yes.
The likes of you and I, the likes of many of you, we're coming out and saying, oh, cobblewash, what a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, because
which yearly manual did you get this shit from?
Yeah, because it's like a preordained ideas that they set out to make a person be, if you like, rather than allowing a person to be and show all their pearls and
the most intelligent people that I have met in my nursing too was the ones that were in that had suffered brain injury, that acute illness, and people have rejected them. Families have rejected them, spouses have rejected them, friends have rejected them, and they are the most intelligent, spiritual, aware, quantum. They can hold 30,000 conversations all at once. What a wonderful place to be.
Yeah.
And humanity rejects the rejects, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, people reject what they don't know.
And actually, I mean, right from being small, because I've always been kind of somebody that's bumbled into everything with a joyful way about me. And I used to...
Joyful bubble.
Yeah. I used to run into school as fast as my little legs would carry me.
So happy.
Yeah. And I would go, hello, everybody. With my arms out. And sometimes, and they just couldn't take the level of joy that I had. Because I could have hugged all of them, you know. And they literally like turned away and walked off. And I was like, oh, what have I done wrong? You know, that's how you see. And I was like, oh, I was only being happy, you know. And my mum actually has told me not so long ago that she used to watch this and then cry on the way home because she saw the face she's got.
Isn't it sad? It's so sad that people have got no clue, no idea and how that person that's so joyful can be your best friend. Now, I'm going to say something here completely and just because I can. We were talking about this, weren't we, Shona? Before I said yes to this.
Yeah.
No stops. If a person wants to express themselves, let them express themselves.
Yeah.
If a person wants to express joy, let them express joy. If a person wants to express sorrow, let them express sorrow.
Yeah.
If a person wants to be harsh and brash and quick and loving at the same time, love is, this is my knowing, love is soft and love is also hard. Let a person be anything that they want to be without any labels, without any ridiculous, stupid, spiritual cobblewash of, well, you're carrying some past life stuff. That's cobblewash. That's bullshit. something also came to me knowing that I was going to do this with you this morning, because I'm a thinker and I'm a talker, and I speak to what I know to be truth, what works for me, what I'm deeply in love with. And that was my experiences with psychics. They all had me wrong. And, just for an example, I'm just gonna say it because I can. I'm a little exposer to bullshit. I am a little exposer. Well, actually, I'm very harsh and brash on people that hoodwink people to psychically attack, or known as a narcissist, because it's all the same. It's just all the same. But when I see someone that is being tormented and brutally hunted, I'm the mother that comes in with a huge sword and stops it within 10 seconds, because that's who I am, because I don't like seeing another human being suffer. Now, I'm getting back to this because I do talk in cryptic. Shona knows this.
Yes.
When I see bullshit happening in anything, I am the first one to rise up and say some very harsh words, and I expose. And I've done that right through my life, and I've just done it recently, and I thought that I made a huge mistake because I did it. I saw this terrible thing happening across this earth plane. It went against my respect, my sacredness and holiness and everything. So I did a little bit of exposing, and actually it was a huge exposing, wasn't it, Shona?
Yeah, it was.
And I sat with it, and I rose tenfold. And I have this ability to cause usamis when it comes to deceit, dishonesty. Many thousands of people are recovering from that.
Yeah.
But I was one of a few, handful, Shona was one of them, to absolutely expose deceit. And when that posting that was put up, Shona, in that group, the topics that we'll be discussing of, and we've got thousands of topics.
Yeah.
And it all comes back down to what's behind everything, behind a mask. Or it's hashtag. I'm learning the hashtags just as you are. Hashtag, it's a tough world out there. Time to get real. Time for everybody to step up, and we've made that place.
Yeah.
Shona's made this incredible foundation for people like me to come out of retirement. And I'm just standing next to her, because, she's been working and walking the talk for such a long time. And I know that this video can carry on for thousands of hours, because we're going to be making a lot more.
Yeah.
So shall we tell the people, my sweetheart, what's in store?
Lots and lots. No, we're going to be doing...
lots of store. Lots in store for this community.
Yes, well...
The tribe vibe, really.
Yes. We've spoken about aspects of things that we're going to be doing, but we're basically going to offer a space where people can come and share who they are. We're also going to offer courses, books, events, do TV, do radio, on all aspects of life, because life itself is spirit. It's not anything that's been created by man, or it's just what is. And we're going to share all aspects of it, and whatever you want to know about, you can Tell us
Just
what you want
ask.
to know and we'll help.
Just ask. Simply ask.
Yeah.
Simply ask, what is it that you want?
Yeah. Yeah.
We are going to attempt to provide that to you. But the great thing is, my darling, too, isn't it? It's accessible to everyone.
Yes. Everybody.
Not the elite. And there is a space, because I'm, at this moment, I'm the one that's behind the building system. There's going to be, isn't it, darling? There's going to be, dear Annie, whatever problems you've got, once a week, you write in. Yeah. There's going to be a panel. At the moment, my sweetheart, there's only Shona and I.
Yes.
We are the discerners, and if anyone's to come on board, we'll bring them on. Don't expect to think that you're going to get on board, because Shona and I will be discerning every single one of you. Then we've got a place for live webinars. We can hold up to 300, isn't it?
Yes.
At a time. And it's this platform. What you're seeing with her and I.
Yeah.
It's that interaction, that the in-depth, and again, Shona and I are the kind of the gatekeepers. I will not withstand willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Thirdly, because of our heart space, we have an empathy to assist others, to help them, because we're giving back, and that's the most forefront of all of it. We've got TV up, we've got radio up, we've got, what else have we got up? Oh, we've got to do the Instagram stuff.
Yeah.
Like hashtag, and it's a tough world out there. Hopefully, as the weeks and the months progress, someone can come in and take over all that humming machine.
Yes.
This humming machine. We're going to have virtual summits like we've done before.
Yeah.
We have special guests, but the most amazing, incredible thing that Shona has pointed out is the fact, and she's been doing it, I've been doing it, is the fact that we're going to have guest contributions. We have onecologists, we have spiritual psychologists, we have, who else do we have? Oh, diet. And the most amazing thing is, I said to Shona, oh my God, this is so exciting. How to grow your own food, how to change your own nappy, our own YouTube platform that people can come into, how to nurture a dog, how to cook, how to cook, all these natural, innate abilities that people, and we're doing a course, we chose this morning. Shona came with four areas, I think it was 4 areas, and one of them was how to make money. How do we break through the blockages and everything of not being good enough for the common old, hang on, I just got to break it out. Because I got a lot to say on that shit. I got lots to say on that shit. How to make $2. All this amazing, intelligent, joyful, exciting stuff. How to protect yourself from an onslaught of spiritual abuse, of rape. How to set your boundaries. What else am I missing? How to distinguish good and bad, because we need good and bad. We do need black and white. Another good topic that I'm really good in is the influence out there. Who's influencing the monkey brain? Who's chatting into your head? Thousands and thousands and thousands of topics. And I am so joyful, Shona, that you pulled me out.
I know, because it's been so joyful for me, actually, because when I turned up in the conversation, she was just sat going, right, I'm ready to listen. And then when I finished, there was just this bursting out of joy. We can do this. We can do that.
We can do this. We can do this.
And then it was like, oh my goodness, I'm out of retirement.
But we can do that. I mean, we can do that. We can do that. You know, we can pull in whoever we want to.
Yeah.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, isn't it, Shona? It's up to you, the viewer.
Yeah.
What is it that you want?
Yeah.
How can we help you? We're building it. We're sharing our heart and soul with you. How can we help you be a better person? How can we help you with whatever you're going through? And I'm sure, you know, we've got people in the wings, like we know a lot of science officers, and this world is endless of the people that we know between us that we can pull in of suffering and pain. Most of all, it's been suffering and pain. Oh, you have to excuse me and my German shepherds.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in, guys, you know, and I must say this wholeheartedly and deeply. I am not interested in the old ways. Because if you're always going back into the old ways, then why the hell hasn't it worked?
Good point.
I'm interested in, no, seriously.
So.
Look at it. You know, tribes and vibes, and everybody's going back to, or, and no disrespect, I'm just telling it how it is. No bullshit.
Yeah.
People say love and light, you know, we're in the 4th D, 5th D, 6th dimension, whatever you want to call it. Love and light. And I'm going, really? Haven't you got your nose in the earth? Haven't you got your hands in the shit? If you're saying this, why do we have wars still? Why do we have starving children? Why do we have earthquakes? Why do we have this? You all have your theory, but get real. Get real. If you can go out and don't sit in a position of holier than thou, get a toothbrush and scrub toilets. This is where I come from. Because I can.
Yeah.
Because it's truthful. Why go back into war? It was just complete and utter war. And you say that we're in the 5th dimension and calling in the light, and well then, if you say it's here, prove it to me. Show me in this world, in this quantum field, that children are not suffering, women aren't suffering, that abuse, and actually, to tell you the truth, the shadow is more deeper than it's ever been. But then there's a theory there that I've listened to where, well, it's all coming out. No, it's not. People are suffering. But I can talk about many topics, and again, no disrespect, because be who you are. Let people be who they are. It's going to be fun. It's going to be joyful. It's going to be very awesome, actually.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, and it's, pulling the gems out of the darkness, because as we were
absolutely. It's absolutely. You know, there's a word called vindication. You know, and please don't get me wrong, viewers. I thought that I caused a lot of shit. I kind of call myself a little wanderer, that I don't belong anywhere, that I caused a lot of mayhem and disrespect. But somewhere down the track, vindication happens, where you seek and you look for. You look for something from spirit or something. One day, a 2-hour video plopped into my email account, and I opened it up, and it came from somewhere so unexpectedly. And I looked at it, and it was the worst condemnation, the worst thing that everybody could experience, talking about little old me, where I had nothing to do with it, really, basically, except that I voiced my opinion. And I took that video. I could have either run for the hills, and I did cause disruption, because that's me. You present something with me, and I rise to the occasion. Challenge is on. And I looked at it, and I thought, now I understand what humans are all about, what spiritual beings are all about, what wannabe special people are on about. And I looked at this video and I had a choice. I could either run, or I could just say, in gratitude, thank you. Because actually what you've done, you haven't squashed me. What you've actually done is you've really empowered me to rise up more. You were afraid of me. You wanted to take me down in your little game. But what you've actually done is that you have empowered me to be more than what I am, that.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to say. But we're going to get on to that later. So just bear with us. Thank you. I know it's really late where you are.
I know, but that's what we're going to teach people as well, isn't it? How to empower themselves through traumatic experiences, because that's one of the biggest things that's present right now. And it's just teaching the joy of simply being and not thinking that you have to be someone's version of you. A lot of problems are caused for people when they think they have to be what somebody else envisions of
projects
them.
onto them. Yeah. Expectations.
Yes. Yeah. And it can create havoc for people. So it simply is just going to the basics of life, basics of spirit, and simply being and finding the joy in everything. That's basically at the core of what we're doing.
Yes. Thank you.
It's always such a joy to share with you, Heather, and it's been a joy bringing Heather back out to share with the world. Yeah, I see her. I see her. She sees me. And it's just, how this space has been created.
Thank you deeply.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.